Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel ServerGyan. My name is Dr. Lokendra Singh and today we are going to discuss about interview questions which are usually asked for profile of DevOps. So before starting this video, I would like to request you to please like, share and subscribe to my channel and do not forget to press bell icon as you will be notified for my upcoming videos. So So these are a couple of questions which are usually asked. I cannot commit like only these questions will be asked to you during your interview, but yeah, most of questions are like this only, or most of question around this particular stuff will be asked to you during your interview. So the interview starts with obviously tell me about yourself. So how do you need to respond this? First of all, tell your name. Need not to include your family background within this because they simply want to know about your current profile, what you are doing, and how do you perform your stuff. Including your name, you can explain about the company where you are working, what tools and technology you are working with, what is your daily schedule, like what all stuff you perform there. Then after you can include about the particular new stuff if there is any which you are thinking to work on, or if you are studying anything, so you can include like recently you have started implementing maybe Ansible within your organization. Okay, then what is your team size? So whether you are a team of two or maybe three, so depending on your requirements, you can easily say that you are working with a team of maybe six. One manager, because DevOps is such a methodology where Scrum Master has to be there. So one Scrum Master, one team lead, and three people are working there as senior engineer or maybe junior engineer. So this is your team size. Then after, what is your role in team? So you can say that being DevOps, there is no such specific role. If any new task is coming to team, or if any new task is allocated to team, so anyone can go for volunteer, and anyone can pick that task. So there is no specific role. So everyone has to perform every task because the team is designed like this that there should be no dependency, because the further company where you are going to work, so they should be looking for such a person who is not going to have any sort of dependency within team. So you can respond this question like you are working as an individual performer or as a team player as well. Whenever any stuff is given to you, you perform that as per requirement. Okay, then how good you are with programming? Obviously, because when you are going to work with DevOps profiles, DevOps, so Dev means developer and Ops means operation guy. So you can answer this question very cleverly, like you are good with programming. If you know, if you don't know, then you can say that I can write only Bash Shell script, or I can write Perl script, or maybe Python, whatever you know. Then, but you can add one more thing, that if it is required to go for programming side, so it will not take me long to learn. I can go for programming side as well. But be sure, if you say and you get hired, so you will have to perform all the stuff whatever is being asked to you during interview. Reason being, because they are going to hire you only on your existing capabilities. So they should be thinking that definitely you will be performing all the stuff whatever is given to you, whether that is ops or whether that is development side. Okay, so are you from dev or ops side? So you can simply say, if you are moving yourself from development to operation, development to DevOps, so you can say that I'm from dev side. Or if you are coming from operation background, so you can include like you are from ops side. But keep this thing in mind, they can ask you a couple of questions based on your background. So it's better to say clearly that you have gone through all the stuff, or most of the stuff which is from ops side or which is from dev side. Okay, for example, if you are from dev side, so you must be knowing all the development languages and all. But for ops side, you can say like I have gone through a couple of tools of Linux like SSH, you know very well, VIM editor and all. So whatever tool you have worked with, or maybe like couple of services you might have configured, SFTP, VSFTPD, maybe iSCSI, LVM, user admin part, if you have worked with, so you can include that particular within your answer. Then after, are you a quick learner? So if they ask you, are you a quick learner? So definitely you are going to say yes. If you say no, so there are less chances that they will consider you for next round of interview, or for next particular selection criteria. So if they ask you, are you a quick learner? So you have to give one example. maybe whatever tool you have learned maybe before 4 years back, maybe 3 years back, maybe couple of months back. So you can give an example here. Yes, I'm a quick learner, and for example, I would like to let you know that recently within my previous organization or within my current organization, there was a task which was assigned to me to implement Ansible, maybe Docker container, or maybe Nagios, or maybe any XYZ tool. You can say like that was new to me, but within a week I studied, I learned that, and after that I implemented, and that is currently being used as of now within our current organization. Fine. So this is, so you have to give an example as well with your answer, so that will definitely prove that you are a quick learner. And not only this, so keep this thing in mind. If you are going to say any tool, maybe maybe Docker, maybe Ansible, maybe Nagios, maybe Git or whatever, so whatever tool you are going to say that you are a quick learner and you have implemented that in your organization, so there will be couple of questions near about that particular or around about that particular area of specification, whatever you have learned as quick as it was required, and you should be knowing that particular stuff in well manner. Reason being, because a quick learner does not mean that you are going to give only overview or you have just implemented, you have not gone through depth of that particular topic. Next question can be, can you lead a team? Okay. For example, if you have 3 years of experience or maybe 4 years of experience, so you can be asked to lead a team. After 3 to 4 years, they may be looking as a team lead, and you can be a potential team lead for them. So you have to say, yes, definitely I can lead a team. There should be no option, or if you have only 2 years of experience, so there should be no answer for this question, or this question should not be there for you if you have only 2 years of experience, because no one would like to hire such a team lead who has only 2 years of experience. So if you have 3 or maybe 4 or maybe 5, so definitely there can be a question, can you handle a team? So your answer should be yes. And just to support your answer, you can add on here like, I am working with my team and I closely observe my team lead that how does he handle complete team, because whenever we have a meeting, so after that when when any task is allocated to team, so I closely observe my team lead that how does he handle to manage all the stuff, that how does he give task to everybody and no one is ready to say that okay, this is new task and this is not given to me. So I closely monitor my team, I closely observe my team lead and my manager as well. So if a chance is given to me, so I can be proved, I can be proven as a good team lead. Okay, then after, can you design application architecture, or have you designed any application architecture? So your answer should be yes. If you have experience more than 4 years, if you have more than 3, if you have less than 3, so you can say yes, I know, but independently I cannot. Reason being, because that is not the age or that is not the experience that you can design completely application. If you are extraordinary or if you really know that how to design architecture, so you can say. Now if you are 3 to 4 maybe 4 to 5 experience you have, so how you are going to support yourself? So you can put one example, like I have been working very closely with the particular team which is designing our application architecture. So yeah, if it is required, and I can definitely give inputs, and within last application as well I gave couple of example, like like network should be designed like this, API call should be made like this. So this and that particular stuff you can make, but keep this thing in mind whenever you are answering these sort of questions. So you have to keep in mind that you should know at least that how applications are designed. Fine. So these sort of question you will have to face during that moment when you are going to face the particular round for your DevOps selection. And now it comes that what sort of tools and technology you know. So they can ask you about crontab. So what is crontab? How to list all the cron? How to remove all cron for any specific user? How to list cron for any other user? Can we implement cron for less than a minute? So answer should be no for sure. Reason being, because cron is such a service or such a program which is designed like this that it can run minimum for a minute. It means less than a minute if you want to run, so you will have to write shell script for that. You can maybe write some do and while loop for that, and obviously you can perform your task. So for example, let me write something here. While true, there may be some syntax error, do, then after your command, Then after sleep, maybe for 30 seconds. Okay, if your requirement is done. While true, do this, sleep this, and done. So this will become a loop, and every 30 second or every 20 second, this command will be running. So this is how you can respond. So it is not like if you are going to answer related to cron, so you have to answer only cron. So you may have another solution for the single problem. Problem was that the particular interviewer want to run any program every 20 seconds, and crontab does not allow that. So you can say, okay, you can write a for loop for that, and you can run in background. This is how you can work. Okay, then after, okay, there may be syntax error. Do not consider this like I have written complete shell script and all. So this was just an example. Now alias. What is alias? Alias is nothing but like name of any script you can call. Okay, for example, if you want to run a command, you want to check that how many users are created on the system who has bin bash shell. So you will have to write psfax. After that, you will have to you will have to write cat. Then after etc password, you will have to grab. Then after you will grab bin bash. Then after you will have to cut. Then after you will have to paste some other all the syntax. Now, what if you have to run that command very frequently? You can do one thing. You can put in your etc best profile file, and after that, whatever you want, as per your requirement, whatever you want, you can give a name. Maybe you can give a name user list. So whenever you run command user list, so in background, that particular command, whatever you have mentioned, that will get executed, and you will get your desired output. Then after, they can ask you netstat command. Now what is netstat command? Netstat command is used to check all the available ports on your local system, or maybe this is the command which can be used. There may be one advanced scenario, like there are two servers which you want to work with, and question goes like that we have a server which says that your requirement is there are two servers and you want to check what all ports are enabled on your remote server. So netstat is the command which you can check with. This particular command is used to check open ports on your local host and as well as on your remote host. Netstat -capital A, then after host name, maybe remote or maybe local. Okay, then after chmod command can be asked to you. Chmod means change mode, change permission. This is used for changing permission for your user, for your group, and for your others. Then after maybe ACL can be asked, that there is a particular scenario. Let me write here command setfacl. Setfacl, set not setback, setfacl. This is the particular command which you may have to face. Okay, there may be a scenario. They may ask, okay, we have a group where 20 members are there, but we do not want to give permission to any one user. So you can put ACL there. Then after, you may have to face a question related to your Nginx and Apache, how to install, how to enable port 443, how to enable SSL, what all modules are required. Okay, if a question is there that when I go to my etc httpd.conf file, and I run a command ll, so I do not find ssl.conf file. So can I copy and paste it from outside, or what do I need to enable SSL on my server? So the answer should be that we need mode underscore SSL package to generate or to create that particular file. Or if you copy and paste it from outside, so that will not work because the particular module will not be enabled for SSL. So you need to keep in mind that you can be asked any tricky question that can be copy and pasted from outside, or do we need some module to make sense, or keep this thing in mind that you have to respond it in very proactive manner, that there will be a module called mode underscore SSL which is used to enable SSL. Then after, like routing and policy, that if there is a URL and we need to redirect it to some other server, so how you need to go for this? So maybe you need to go for proxy and reverse pass proxy settings within your http.conf file for port 80 and ssl.conf file for 443, and maybe some other port you may have. Okay, there could be another question out of http, that I want to run my Apache on port 8081. How do I need to enable this? So listen is the particular directive within your http.conf file. So make this thing in mind that you have to answer that. Now, this is the most favorite question of zombie, like interviewer, what is zombie process? So zombie process is what, when, okay, for example, we are running any process, maybe Apache we are running, and due to any reason we have killed Apache process, but some child process which were running, these are not cleanly removed from the process table. It means parent process is killed, but child process is still exists in the process table of kernel. So this is not going to remove your process anyhow, and this particular type of process are known as zombie process. It means all the process whose parent has been killed or removed from the system, but a child process is still exist in the process table of kernel. So that is known as zombie process. Now the very next question is that what is top command? So top command means when you need to check load average, logged in users, uptime of your server, free available, total amount of RAM. Then after your number of CPUs allocated, your load sequence. So these sort of utilities can be checked, or these sort of stuff can be checked with your top command. Now these are the questions from Linux environment. Then after, if you talk about deployment, so now what is blue and green deployment? They may ask you what is blue green deployment. So the answer should be, for example, we have a load balancer, and behind that we have maybe 8 servers. Fine. So out of 8 server, what we will do is we will take 4 server out of the stack. We will take 4 servers offline. We will do deployment on that, and then after we will enable the server, and we will disable remaining 4 server which are currently serving your production environment. When these 4 server will start serving your traffic, so for sure during that moment when these server will be serving traffic, so you will do deployment on rest of servers, and after doing that particular deployment, you will definitely go for your you will add your remaining server into the stack. So this is how your blue green deployment work. Now what is hot deployment? Now hot deployment means that you need to have 2 different stack for your production environment. Maybe one is your primary, and second one is your DR side. So first of all, you will deploy on your primary side, and your traffic will be served from DR, because usually your DR, which means disaster recovery site, is in most of cases is one day before. There is a code available that is one day before, so obviously your all the traffic will be served from your DR. So you will do deployment on your primary site. Once that is set up, so you will route your all the traffic from maybe load balancer, maybe DNS or Route 53, whatever. So you will route your complete traffic to your that particular site where you have done your deployment recently, and after that you will deploy the same code to that particular remaining site the very next day. So this is how your hot deployment works. Now, what is your rollback plan? This will be a question for you for sure, 100% sure, that what is your rollback plan? How do you go for rollback? So the answer is in case of blue green. So what we in general do is we do deployment only on 4 servers out of 8, and we check for at least 10 minutes that whether everything is working fine or not. We go for basic sanity. Once basic sanity is done, only after that we go for deployment on rest of servers, because this deployment is done in 2 parts. If everything works well on the 50% of servers, only after that rest of the servers are deployed. Otherwise we go for rollback, because the particular script which is going to deploy, that script takes backup of existing code, and in case of any failure or any issue, we simply roll back the backup which is taken on the actual server or wherever we are going to take backup. So that script automatically takes care of that rollback as well. Now, what is Jenkins? Next question will be, have you worked with Jenkins? So answer should be yes, because obviously when you are going to go for interview of DevOps, plugins. Okay, that was my mistake. So what is Jenkins? So Jenkins is a Java-based tool which is used for deployment and build creation. Now, what all plugins you have worked with? So you can give example of all the plugins, whatever you have used for. Maybe you have used for Gradle, Ant, Maven, and GIT. You can give example. Maybe you can give example of SonarQube plugin, and obviously, so these sort of plugins you can give example of. Then after Recently, Jenkins has introduced plugin of S3, maybe EC2, Docker container, and all. So these sort of plugins you can give example of. So before going to face interview, so you need to go through all the plugins at least, that what all plugins are used and why these are used. Maybe you can give example of pipeline, build pipeline plugin, and these are the plugins example you can give. Now, example, the next question is user data for deployment. So the question is, have you ever used user data for deployment? Now, what is user data? User data is the particular section of EC2 machine. It means when you go to advanced section and you want to write of any of Shell script, so you can use user data. So your answer should be yes, because what happens is if you are doing deployment on AWS, so sometimes you have to fetch code from S3 bucket, sometimes you have to fetch code from maybe maybe your S3 bucket, sometimes from Git, sometimes from Bitbucket, sometimes from GitHub. So there may be multiple source of code where you may have to pull it from. So what you in general do is you create IAM role, you assign that IAM role to your newly created instance, and whenever instance is being created, so during that instance creation you can run these command, and obviously this will install package. Maybe you want to run install httpd, maybe and maybe you want to run MySQL, and all whatever component or whatever command you have to perform manually, you can write as a shell script and you can put it under user data. So this is how you can answer this question. Have you ever used user data for deployment? So obviously you can say yes, and obviously if you answer like this, so definitely it will be considered like you are using this particular stuff. Next question will be from VPC and subnet, like what is VPC, what all component of VPC you have used, like what is subnet, what is route table, and there may be a scenario based question like you have a VPC and there are two subnet, one is public, one is private, and you want to run internet on your private subnet. So what is the solution for that? So your answer should be like you can go for NAT gateway and all. So if you want to understand this in more detail, you can go to my AWS channel for sure, and VPC you can go to your VPC playlist and you will find all the answers there. I have really explained in detail. Now, when it's come to EC2 section, so what are reserved instances, what are spot and what are reserved instances, what are on-demand instances. So this could be a question for you. So now, what is reserved instance? So when we talk about AWS payment section or AWS billing section, so there are 3 to 4 types of instances. First of all is on demand, which you create and you terminate as and when required. Now reserved instances means these are almost 65 to 70% cheaper than your on-demand instance. But you have to have an agreement with AWS at least for 1 year. Once you purchase this instance, whether you may run or not, but you will have to pay for it. Now, what is spot instance versus reserve? What is difference between both? So reserve means you purchase in advance. There may be different billing options that you may go for no upfront. There may be partial upfront or full upfront. So depending on your payment mode, your instance will be charged. But if you go for spot instances, it means these are based on bid. For example, today is the date 10th of November 2018, and tonight between 8 to 10, I am going to bid $1 per hour for per instance. If instances are available under that bidding rate, so obviously instance will be given to me. But if at 9 p.m. anyone bids maybe $2 per hour, so that instance get terminated any moment, because that is based on bid. This is how your spot instances work. Now, what is cloud formation? Cloud formation is the feature of AWS which provides you facility that you can what should I say, like you can provision your complete environment including your load balancer, EC2, VPC, subnet, and rest of stuff you can perform using your cloud formation. So question will be like, have you ever written any cloud formation template? So if you are a developer, so you can say yes, I have written. And if you are an ops guy, so you can say like, with the help of developer, I have definitely I have guided developer to write cloud formation template, because I know where and what components are supposed to be used, because I'm not from a developer background, so I am not much familiar with like JSON and YML format. So you can answer this question in such a manner that with the help of developer, for sure I can write cloud formation template, or I can help developers to write cloud formation template. Then after, have you used Route 53? Yes, your answer should be yes, because for sure whenever any site is hosted, so in most of cases that is hosted on Route 53 only, whenever any domain is created or hosted. Now, what all records we have used, like a record, you can give example of, like we have couple of domains which are directly pointing to EC2 machine, so we are running as a record. If that is working with load balancer, that particular site is working with load balancer, so you can say you have used cname as a record. Then after mx, if you are running mail server, then after you can go for ns, it means name server. You may have to answer multiple, you may give multiple examples like soa, txt, ptr and all. So you may have to go to like record type as well, and for this you can refer my Route 53 videos. You can find a playlist on this channel. Then after best feature of AWS, you feel that AWS has really a great feature of AWS. So answer should be ALB. It means auto scaling group, and AWS load balancer. So what is load balancer? Load balancer has capability that it can allow you to, like if there is a burst in traffic, so AWS load balancer can handle that very easily. That will not go down. That is highly scalable. So that is what you can use. And second one is auto scaling group. This helps you to like auto scale your environment as and when required. You can write multiple rules here, that based on what rule your environment should go scale up or scale down. If there is high traffic, so you can add a couple of more instances within your stack, or if there is low traffic, so you can terminate couple of instances out of your stack. Okay, there could be one more question, like what is the like critical situation which you have seen. So you should be able to answer, like if you might have faced any issue. So maybe your application was not working properly, maybe your auto scaling group was not configured properly, and you might have to delete that particular auto scaling group. You might have to create new AMI, you might have to install all the software, you might have to prepare that particular environment once again. After that, you might have created new environment. Fine. So that sort of answer you can give here. Now, have you used Chef and Puppet or maybe Ansible? So answer should be like you have worked with either of tool, maybe Ansible or Chef. So Chef is basically client and server based. This works with Ruby. Ansible is clientless, or you can call it agentless, in an agentless tool. This is written in YML. If you might have written any playbook, then that is good. Otherwise, you can answer that definitely you have used community playbooks and you have modified them as per your requirement. So Ansible provides community playbooks which you can copy, and you can modify them as per your requirement, like installing packages, user creation, user management, and all. You can answer such kind of thing. Like what is the biggest issue you have faced? So if you have faced any issue, maybe there was any attack, or if there was any failure, there was high load on any server which no one was able to identify and you identify, or if you were a part of that particular like issue facing or troubleshooting, so you can give that particular as example, but you should have appropriate answer to that particular question, because right now only you are going to explain the scenario, that this was the scenario, how you started troubleshoot, and how did you start for troubleshooting, and what all steps you performed for for troubleshooting of that issue. So this sort of stuff you need to perform, or you need to update. Now, how will you set up DR? So there are 4 strategies. First of all is active and your backup and restore. The very first one is backup and restore. It means you have backup created, as and when your site goes down, you can restore your backup. Second one is your what should I call that? Warm standby. Warm standby means the particular application which you are running in your production environment, same setup you have on your DR site, but these are running with really less resources, or very number of resources is quite low there. For example, if you have 64 CPU and 128 GB of RAM in your production server, so you have 4 GB of 2 CPU and 4 GB of RAM, because you want to keep these applications just only in sync. Third one is pilot light. It means your most of servers are created but are kept power off. Reason being you want to save money. Third and last one is your multi-site DR. It means if you have 50 server in your production zone, so 50 servers will be kept in your DR as well, up and running all the times in sync. And you can route your traffic from, for example, this is your route 53. Right now, this site is being served, and if this goes down, so automatically this will route your traffic to your DR site, because that is multi-site. Okay, how to scale production servers? So there are two methods. Either you can grow these horizontally or vertically. If you want to go them, if you want to like horizontally, so you can for sure go for it, or like you can increase number of servers, or you can increase the particular size of instance. So these are two ways how you can scale your servers. So these are a couple of questions which are usually asked to DevOps in terms of facing interview. If you have any like these, and I personally feel like this is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good time. Happy learning from ServerGyan. If you have any further question, if someone might have asked you during interview, so please do let me know. Do write in comment box. I shall be happy to respond for that. Thank you very much. Have a good time. Happy learning. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a good time.